Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hallie if you're new here. I love to share all things prophetic as it relates to the return of Christ on the earth. And I wanted to first say thank you for tuning into my last video with my husband where we talked about how to prepare for the return of the Lord, and we love that conversation. Today I want to share with you a dream that I had last night that, although it was a short dream, it was incredibly powerful and impactful, and I believe that it's not only a personal message for me, but it is for you as well. So first, I'll tell you about the dream, and then I will talk through some scriptures that I know will be an encouragement to you. So in my dream, we were in my home where I live, and my husband was in the kitchen, and my kids were in their bedrooms, and it was later in the evening. And I walk out into the living room, which is right off the kitchen, and suddenly it gets pitch black in my house. And I'm like instantly like in the spirit, and I see lightning flashing in my living room, and it is unreal. Like, I obviously have never seen lightning bolts in my living room before, and I knew that the presence of the Lord was there immediately. As soon as I saw lightning bolts and flashing, I had this sense of like fear and awe and like reverence. And then quickly, right after I started to see the lightning bolts, lo and behold, there is a gold throne that starts coming down like from the heavens into my living room, like descending. And it is something that is like so hard to describe because of the glory and the beauty and the presence of God that I felt seeing this. And it was covered, the entire thing was covered in gold, and it was so ornate with so much detailing. And I'm watching this, and it's like, I imagine like the Apostle John, just how do you even describe what you're seeing? And it's like you want to fall down like as if you're dead. It's just the reverence, the awe. And I knew in my spirit that what was going to come next was the appearance of Jesus Christ on the throne. My eyes are just set on the throne. I'm watching it. There's lightning bolts, and I'm like, Jesus is gonna come. Jesus is coming. The King is coming into my home, onto the earth. And at that point, I actually woke up before I saw him appear, but I knew in my spirit he was going to appear, and I woke up because my baby was crying. So I was like, oh, that's a bummer. I would have like loved to see the Lord again in my dream. But so many things came to my mind as I was pondering this. I woke up, and later that night I was reading through the scriptures, like all of the verses that talk about the throne of God. And there's a few I wrote down that I believe are applicable here. The first thing that stood out to me, and as I was talking about this with a friend and my husband, was the authority and rule of Jesus in my home. I knew immediately the Lord was showing me that he is the king of my home, that he is present in my home, and that he is ruling over everything in my home. And so I just was praising him like, thank you, Lord, that you dwell in my home. And I praise you that you are present and you are near, and that you are on your throne in my house and in my family. So that's one of the first things that stood out to me. So after that, I started looking up scriptures, and I came to a lot of them. You know, the throne is all over the Bible, and there's a literal, like, the Lord sitting on his throne, and then there's figurative, scriptures about the throne and the authority and power of God. And I loved reading about the throne of Solomon in 2 Chronicles, and it talks about his wealth and the Queen of Sheba who comes to visit and brings gold and silver and all sorts of things. And it's just so beautiful, the description of that, and it made me think of that as well. It's a little cool out here today, but the sun is shining, so I'm like trying to soak in my vitamin D for winter, and it feels so nice right now as I just read through these scriptures. I want to go through a couple more. Psalms 9:7, the Lord reigns forever. He has established his throne for judgment. We know that the throne represents judgment. And we know at the end of times that Jesus is going to come and judge the living and the dead, which is the great white throne judgment. And then in Revelation 3, there's a couple here in Revelation I love. Revelation 3:21, to the one who is victorious, I will give the right to sit with me on my throne. Revelation 4:5, from the throne came flashes of lightning and roars of thunder. And I thought of that in terms of what I saw specifically, the lightning flashing in my home and just the fear and awe of seeing that in the spirit. I was just like, whoa, this is what it must be like in the heavens, in the throne room of God. And all of heaven in his throne is representative of the authority and power. And Psalms 47:8 says, God reigns over the nations. God is seated on his holy throne. I also love Hebrews 4:16 that talks about how we can come to the throne of grace. That God is merciful and loving, and he will hear us, and we come to his throne, and that he will listen to us. There's so many scriptures that I could elaborate on, and I wanted to just highlight some of them because, first of all, there is that piece that is, okay, God is our authority, he is our power, he's reigning and ruling over all things, in that we should not lose sight of that in our personal lives and then in the nations and on the earth. And then I believe there's a literal interpretation where Jesus is literally going to come to the earth soon and dwell here. He's going to rule and reign for 1,000 years on his throne. And to the one who is victorious and overcomes, like Revelation says, he will give them the right to sit on his throne with him. And I just think that is amazing that the Lord of hosts would allow us to sit with him on his throne. And I do believe that my dream is representative of him coming to the earth soon. He is coming, and he also is here now dwelling in our hearts for those who are followers of Christ and been born again of his spirit. I also wanted to add in this one part before I forget, because I made this connection right away after I woke up, and how it was instantly dark in my house prior to the lightning and the throne appearing. And I feel that there's a correlation there with the darkness on the earth, the increasing darkness and evil and wickedness in the time that we live in, and how it will continue to get darker before Christ returns. So I wanted to highlight that and just make sure that we consider those things and the correlation there, because I don't think that was by accident that it suddenly went pitch black and then Jesus came on his throne. I mean, his throne, and he was going to appear, but I woke up. So wanted to just throw that in there as well. Maybe you're not a dreamer, and maybe the Lord doesn't show you these things. That's okay. God speaks to us in different ways, but I do believe the Lord wants to show you those things, and he does want to speak to you in dreams and visions. And what I regularly ask is that the Lord would speak to me in my dreams. Like every night I go to sleep, I'm like, Lord, is there anything you want to show me? Do you want to tell me something that maybe I'm not, understanding, or I don't hear you? Or is there something you want to show me so I can share with other people? And so I believe that dream was both for me and for you to be reminded of the authority of Christ and that he's coming soon. So thank you so much for watching and for sharing my videos, for engaging and talking. And I love this little community here on YouTube. It's been really fun the last year since I started this channel. So I appreciate every one of you comment and just have a conversation. So in the meantime, I hope you have a great new year, great January, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care.